Parents, teachers, and therapists. In this video, I'm going to talk about differentiation. Why, this is an education concept, but why should parents, teachers, and therapists all understand differentiation? This is a really important concept that will help you, for sure, help the kids that you are trying to be helpful to. And I hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Seth Perler, and I wear a lot of hats in the executive function world. I'm an executive function coach, speaker. I work with a lot of kids with ADHD, 2E kids, a lot of neurodiverse kids. And as I said in this video, I'm going to talk about differentiation. And I'm going to give you what I believe to be a very useful definition. This is my definition. You can define it differently, but I think this will at least help get you started. So what is differentiation? So the first thing that I want to talk about differentiation is the word different. It means making it different. What are we making different? Well, we are working on learning experience. How are we going to make the learning experiences different for individual students? So here's how I phrase it. So to me, the word to tailor or to personalize or to customize, those are synonymous with differentiation. How do we tailor something? We're making it different for a person. Personalize it, make it different for a person. So what are we tailoring? What are we differentiating? We are differentiating learning experiences. We're differentiating how we teach. We're differentiating what the students are experiencing. Why would we even differentiate? Because everybody is different. So we have, these individual unique students with unique brains, and they have unique strengths, unique interests, unique gifts. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about those words in my definition as well. So the first thing that I'm telling you is that differentiation is about how we're going to tailor learning experiences, how we're going to tailor or personalize learning experiences for the kids that we're working with. But we're going to tailor them to an individual's unique needs. Now, I put after that strengths, interests, gifts, and meaning. And here's why I put that. When we are differentiating, when we are really making learning experiences unique to somebody, all kids have different needs. So how do we make it meet their needs? All kids have different strengths, and a lot of traditional schooling, as you well know, does not often notice the strengths of a lot of neurodiverse kids. So with differentiation, though, we can really customize things to their strengths, what they are good at. How can we customize it to their interests so that we're not just top down dictating what the curriculum's like, but we can actually use their interests to make learning more interesting? And what about their gifts? Similar to their strengths, right? What about their gifts? The things that they're, whether or not they're measured or noticed. With strong teachers, excellent teachers differentiate very well to all the kids. And then I put the word meaning. Why did I put the word meaning there? Well, the reason that I put meaning there is because when we can make learning more meaningful or more purposeful, the individual, the more it's differentiated, the more they are going to get out of it. So what the heck is differentiation in a more practical sense? What do we differentiate? Well, there are four main things that we differentiate. The four things that we differentiate are content, process, product, environment. Say it with me. Content, process, product, environment. You'll get used to it. You'll say it real fast. When you can get used to saying that, you'll really have an idea of the things that you can be looking at in like 2 seconds. You can really be thinking about, okay, how can I differentiate better for this kiddo? Now, parents and therapists who are watching too, as I said, this information can be helpful to you in different, this can inspire you to have different ideas for how you approach helping kids. Anyhow, content. We differentiate, customize, tailor, personalize. As I said, content. What we're going to learn. Okay. Usually you're going to think about curriculum and standards, but content can be anything. And I'm going to use, my example of content. Let's say that I want to learn a new song on a guitar. So we can differentiate that song for me. And we can make it so that we're really looking at how to differentiate it based on my strengths, my gifts, my talents, my interests, the things that matter to me or purposeful for me, that have meaning to me. So how can we differentiate the content? Obviously, we're going to want me to be learning a song that I like or care about or matters to me or is interesting to me, yada, yada. Process is how. How are we going to learn? How are we going to process the content? How's our brain? How's our mind? How are we going to learn? How are we going to process the information? the learning strategies or teaching strategies, the ways that we are going to learn the thing. So, for example, how am I going to learn the song? Maybe somebody shows me. Okay, that's one way to learn. Maybe I read the tablature. Maybe I watch somebody and try on stage or on a video and try to model it. Maybe I'm reading about it. Probably not the best way to learn for learning a song. Probably it's better to do it and actually practice it in person. So anyhow, you can think of all different ways that I could learn the song. So what to learn, how we're going to learn it, and then the product. The product is how to show the learning. Now, to me, with differentiation, there's a big problem in the education world, and with differentiation, in that we don't really always differentiate very well. And I think that that's largely a function of how we are so addicted and convinced to this idea that the standards in the curriculum are what should be taught. But I want to propose to you that there's many ways to approach education, that these were just constructs by human beings. We made them up so we can actually make them better. But there's not a lot of motivation necessarily in the system to make them better for various reasons I'm not going to get into. But what I do want to say about product is this. What tends to happen, a big problem with product, is that we tend to have a couple of main products. One main product is a test, and one main product is an essay. And then we also have these things called projects. So those are our main products. So what a product is how we show our learning. And not all kids are great at the limited ways that we have to show learning. So let's say that you're doing your homework and you have to go answer the questions at the back of the chapter. That is a form of a test or a quiz or an assessment or an exam. I use those four words pretty interchangeably. Test, quiz, exam, assessment. Now, assessment is my favorite because assessment can mean a lot of things, okay? So when we're looking at product, assessment, there's a lot of ways to assess something. But with tests, there tends to be a few types of tests: multiple choice, short answer, longer answer, paragraph, or whatever, and essay tests. And then essays is basically what I said before, writing. So what I'm proposing to you is we tend to default to some form of test and some form of writing in order to assess most learning. Well, there are so many students that could show their learning in so many different ways. Am I going to take a multiple choice, short answer, or essay test to show you that I learned a song? No, I'm going to perform the song for you, or play the song for you, or make a recording of the song for you. Maybe I make an audio recording, maybe I make a video recording, maybe I make a music video. There are so many ways that I can show it. I could actually print off the tablature so that you could play it yourself. There are so many ways that I could show you the song that are not what we typically use. So we are in this world that it tends to be not very project based, not very experientially based, but we look at our products in a very limited way. Now, the cool thing about like projects, when kids have projects to do, is a lot of times teachers do a much better job at differentiating projects in order to show their learning than they do those other two methods that I just mentioned. So, and then finally, we have environment. So we can differentiate the environment where somebody's learning so that it can support their learning. Maybe, you might be the type of person who you work well in a coffee shop with the hum of noise in the background, but you may be the type of person who works with complete silence. Well, how do you do that in a classroom? It's very challenging, but brilliant, great teachers, dedicated teachers who work on building the skill sets that they need to differentiate better, do this brilliantly. They really can meet all sorts of different needs of different kids. Now, I want to talk about environment because I want to talk about two things. There's the physical environment where learning is taking place, the types of groups, are kids in small groups, large groups, individual, all sorts of anything you can think of about the physical space they're learning in. But you can also think about environment in terms of the emotional environment. And this is huge, because kids need to feel emotionally safe. And if you follow my work, you'll know I talk a lot about the prefrontal cortex, the amygdala, fight, flight, or freeze, polyvagal theory, all of these things about the nervous system. Kids need to feel safe in order to really learn, in order to access the parts of the brain that help them to learn. So to review, we have content, process, product, environment. Say it with me: content, process, product, environment. Content is what you learn. Process is how you learn. Product is how you show your learning or the evidence of your learning. And environment is where you're learning and customizing or tailoring or personalizing the environment, the content, process, and product to the individuals, the unique needs as much as possible. So I'm going to show you my definition again. So differentiation is how to tailor, personalize, or customize learning experiences to individual students' unique needs, strengths, interests, gifts, and meaning. And we do this with content, process, product, and environment. Now, these are my words, but I like to, so when I, as a teacher, am designing curriculum, whether I'm doing it for my clients nowadays or when I was a school teacher and designing curriculum, my goal is creatively differentiated strength-based learning, or creatively differentiated strength-based curriculum. And what that means, what those words mean, is that I, as a teacher, the way that I view teaching and teachers, I view teachers as artists. Now, we don't often view teachers as artists. We view them as people who we want to comply and deliver the standards and meet the curricular goals, and we want to see data, But these are very complex human beings we're dealing with. The students are, as are we, but teachers are artists. They are craftspeople, and their craft is crafting learning experiences. Okay, so a lot of times teachers are regurgitating because they're often trained to just follow the curriculum, and it may not be very creative. But what I want, my goal as a teacher, as an educator, I want to create differentiated, strength-based learning experiences or curriculum for my students. Why? Because it increases engagement, it differentiates more effectively, and essentially they are going to learn more. So that is the whole point of all this. Again, my name is Seth Perler. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. You can subscribe, you can leave a comment, and I'm interested, when you think about differentiation, in the comments below, how do you differentiate? Do you have any tips for us or any thoughts or insights that can help us with our approach to differentiation? And I'm really interested also from parents and therapists what you think. And if you like my work also, you can go ahead and check out my site, sethperler.com, where I have a lot of freebies for you all. I actually have a very thorough YouTube channel. You can go like, subscribe, and comment. You're probably on there right now, but check out my YouTube channel. And I also have the Executive Function Summit, where every year I get amazing speakers to come share with us about executive function. Again, my name is Seth Perler, sethperler.com. Today, I want to wish you peace in your heart and joy. And I want to wish you connection with the kids that you care about. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you soon.